Okay, we are live. Welcome to Wendy Makes Art, the channel, and you are watching Friday Night Dinos. I have been gone painting the ocean and having just a grand old time, but it is time to get back to work and back to these dinosaur works. So we are going to work a little bit on Nighthawks, which is my rendition of Hopper's famous work. Nighthawks hangs in the Chicago Museum of Art, and I have completely changed it over here. So today, let's get started. I'm gonna dive right in. I probably won't chat too much. I'm in the mood to paint. I wanna make sure that I get lots of art done. I also want you to be able to see more of this, so let me do that. And you'll be able to see a little more of the artwork. A little less of me. I'm not the most exciting thing, although I will show you my way cool dinosaur shirt in a little bit here, so hang on for that. Outside of that, let's see. I think we're ready to go. All right, I have so many different things. I'll probably have to pull some references out of the drawer. I grabbed my Raptor to kind of use it as a loose reference for these guys. I will have to grab my Hopper painting reference that I think is over here. We'll see. I've got a huge bunch of stuff. I've got some AI generated references with trees over water. Today I did a little research. I knew that I wanted this to fall on shale, water over shale, but I want it to be green, a lot like the image of the painting. So if I can find the Hopper painting, I can kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking. That's a different Hopper painting. That's not it. That's not it. I may have lost this reference. Right there. As you can see, I have created a lot of references for this piece and then also looked at a lot of different things. So we'll see what I end up with. Today is going to be a lot about the night scene, the tree references, the moonlight, and also I wanted to capture the idea of shell. So I was really looking for some images of how water goes over shale, and this is an example. I think this is in Michigan. There's this river, and it's a type of rock, shale, that I think was a time-lapse photo, and so really rippling through, but I want to give it a little bit of a green glow as a shout out. Maybe it could be moss under the shell. I don't know. So I've got a bunch of stuff here for reference, and we'll set this off to the side so I can look at these and think about how I want to lay them and layer them. I know that like this shows this way, but I think I really want to build it that those cut off parts, the high part is over here on this bank, and then this bank is lower. So, or I have it high over here just like this. Let me think that through. Line wise, I've got to think about how the lines fall in this riverbed and how the water would flow down through it in the middle and meet up to the other side. So really looking at how both banks of the river sit. And I'm almost thinking my waterfall over here would come down, and then there's more stuff that would happen down on this side. So I can think that through a little more. See, I kind of like the way that this one, if it were more active back in dinosaur times. Okay. Set that back in the corner. Play with it a little bit. And I think I'll just grab a brush and we'll go. I'm going to work in gouache for a little while. Maybe mix in some watercolor. At some point, I may put mixed media into this. I just had a trip to Monterey Bay. And for anybody who just jumped on, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Love it when you guys tune in. Feel free to ask me any questions. Sometimes I don't get to them right away. So just jump into chat and ask me any questions if you want to. I was looking for my hopper image, didn't find it. So we're just, we're gonna go without it for a little bit. At some point, I will not be surprised if my cats jump up and try to get involved in this, because as soon as they realize I have a cup of water, they're on it. They're like, Mom, we want to drink from that paint water. I don't know what it is about my paint water cup. They've taken over one of them. I gave up my favorite paint water for the cats, and not happy about it, but I did. And look at me, I can't paint and chit chat. How sad is that? On painting and chit chat. I want to keep some of this red wood feel in here. Oh, we've got to be vague about it. And I've got to start looking at roots and root systems. So this little guy, I want to come up. I don't know, do we start with a raptor? Maybe we start with my raptor and think about how I want to paint him and go in with that. Just add some more color to this guy while I clean my palette up. It's always nice. To drop that in there. So I want these like to have that rich red burgundy tone, but we've also got to start getting that green in. Show dirt and the logs, how these logs work their way through. No, Pogo, no, 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 no. Told ya. Okay, well, I'm mean mom of the century now. Poor Pogo. This log wasn't really doing much, and I think it needs to like dip into the water and go back a little. So I have an idea of it going to the other shore. Maybe there's little nubbies that come onto it and dip into that water. And I'm gonna build out with some grayish kind of color. Too red. There we go. But it's too bright. Too very green. Pull some white into it. A little more blue. A little magenta. And I'm thinking about how this shell riverbank would come into play. Like, what is going on? Is this where all the water comes down? Would these cracks appear? Oh, it's gonna be more green, I can tell right now. So I'm gonna do that. And then mint it up. So I'm just building some lines, some cross lines. We'll see what happens once we start playing with this, because the water comes down in different layers over this. Sometimes the shell is like really close together. Sometimes it'll break and be apart. And then I'm going to have to give the illusion that the water comes down over it and travels. So we'll work on that here in a bit. I kind of like that. How much I want. For it to come across this way. And I'm going to build this up really. We'll see how much light I can bring into it now that I've introduced, like, I have opaques with this, so I'm a little concerned that I'll lose my feeling of some things, but let's just see what we get. All right, so water comes down. Minty blue, kind of, you know, like it's gonna hit and then skip a little bit and then come down over in here, I think. Same in this, like it's just gonna flow right over some of these areas. No, I'm gonna get you. You're gonna get it. No kidding. I see you looking at this. So she is, I have the squirt bottle. She is determined to get over here, and I'm like, you're not doing it. Not doing it, Missy. So naughty. I love that she's naughty, but boy, oh, she's naughty. We'll play with this a little more. And I think even under these we might see just a little hint of some of this stuff happening under here. The green. Let's see. Try to put some of that in there. And there'll be a deep, dark shadow underneath a lot of stuff. So my light is coming in. I think this is where we were the last time I was talking about light. Where do I capture that bright light? And let's start in here with these little guys. Kind of think about, you know, like if he's hit and the light's coming down, so the top of his head is going to have a nice little, and of course that's not bright enough. Everything's dirty. So light comes in, gonna hit over here, down this edge, a little bit over here, probably on this hand, and I'm guessing like right in there. And from there, behind the eye, is gonna be a shadow. So what I'm doing is I'm facing him towards my light right now. And then I'm gonna try to mix some colors here. Mix it a brownish blue, a little more blue. Okay, a lot more blue. I want it a brown that leans a little more blue for the shadow part, because this will come like down the back of his neck. And his spine. And definitely this tail is going to be all in shadow. And then behind the legs, up through here, and back through there. And behind the eye, with the eye socket. And then make it more warm. Orangey warm in here. Side of his face. Definitely more orangey warm. The back of this leg. And this side, which is probably going to be even darker than what I had. Hey, well, I'm glad you made it, Lebowski. Looks like you made it. Did you catch me spraying Pogo? She was trying to get involved. Naughty cat. So naughty. And I'm just trying to give a sense of dimension, space, light. Let's grab this brush. Put like a little bit of yellow in with white. And I think that will probably dry too dark, but we'll leave it for now. Kind of see what happens with all that. Maybe a little bit across his back, like not a ton, but a little to show his form. And then let's think about what's going to happen with his shadows. If this is coming back here, the light comes back here, the shadow will cast over the back of this. So, you know, we're going to have a little bit of a shadow up here, definitely here. can kind of indicate something's going on behind him. Right in there. Same over here. The light is coming over here. It'll cast on the side of this guy. Maybe a little bit. And maybe even over here a little bit. I can put a little bit of stuff over here. Kind of play with that right in there. I almost feel like I need to build a model in order to understand what's happening with this thing. I'm not going to build a model, but I will talk about it. Okay, this light's gonna come in here. This is all gonna be in shadow. Hey, NEC. Working on one of your favorites? Well, we'll see what I can get done. This is hard. It's all from imagination. So this one is really tough. And now I'm trying to like think about where the light is, what it's hitting, what the muted colors would be, what we would see. You know, it's a forest scene, so of course it's going to be a little darker here and there. There might be some crevices in this log. Definitely there'd be a log shadow, log shadow over here. So whatever's going on, a log shadow is going to be going on too. Right in here. Same with that. And some onto this log back here. So we've got that shadow. Coming into that. That feels a little better, whatever's going on right there. This guy's going to be really dark, like almost black kind of darkness. So I'm going to pull in some blue and some purple and a little bit of red so it's not like black. I don't want it black. And that is this log behind all of this moss. And underneath these guys, it's really dark. Can't even really see what is going on. You know something's going on back there, but you don't really know. Right here. And then this guy, let's add a little bit of light onto him. So let's clean this guy and just put that color over there. And go into my white. So I've got like a lemon yellow. And now this guy, here's my light. His face is down, he's backlit. So it's gonna hit up here on his top of his head, right in here. Right through here. Maybe a little bit on the top. And I'm guessing he would have a little bit of light on this side and the top of this hand of his. So right there, maybe, depending on how far it is out. but most of it should be like right up in here. And then the darkest part, let's go into his dark browns under here, because you can't really see what's going on under there. And the left side of his neck and his face, all in shadow. I want him just a little more mysterious. A little red, brown, blue. And orange. I like an orange under some of the areas, like here and here. So let's grab some of this yellow and red and kind of go with like an in-between. Ooh, I got in the yellow too much. My yellow's so wet, it's catching with what I'm painting and then spreading around. Which is kind of, hey, Go West! Happy Friday! I've got all my favorites here. I've got you and Lebowski and Annie C. Love it. Kind of trying to think my way through this moonlight coming in and hitting some things, and then how it may light up some of these edges. And then bring some darks in. And we'll see. That's too turquoise. It's going to be colder than that. It's not cold enough. So I was thinking even this one back here would have almost like a blue light on it back in the back as it comes this way. But that wasn't right either, because it should be more of a purple blue like that instead. So I'll have to redo it now. There we go. It's like a light purple. That's a better color. The turquoise wasn't quite right. Back in here. And the brightness in where it's hitting. And there's going to be all kinds of shadows in there, so let's get some purpley kind of shadow. That is. It's hard. It's hard to paint. Yeah, I know. Right? We've got color values. We've got, you know, I'm working with imaginary light. Hoo-ah! Like, where's my light source coming in? Where's it hitting? Where's it going to be? Like, this guy would be in shadow. So, you know, does he come in here? And now I've got this over here, this green shadow to make it a little darker. Right in here to that leg, which I have wrong, but this will be dark under here. Same with this, there's going to be shadow over it, so his head, of course, is shadowing on the log as it comes down. Tough stuff. You all missed it. The kitten wanted to get involved, and I had to squirt her. And now I feel really bad. Like bad kitty mommy. But she wanted in the paint, and then she was gonna go for the water. Whew, what a nightmare. This is gonna be all tree trunk in here. And I thought it would be warm, but now I'm rethinking and thinking it's gonna be like cold hit in the light. I'm not sure. And then this guy, maybe over here. So let's clean our brush and yellow this up with more of a bright lemon yellow for the light. And then, it's still not quite right, because it's going to be back in here, top of this head, and the side, and this side, and the side of this arm, and the side of this little claw, and of course then right there, and then this guy has light on him, and right in here, and I think pretty much his arms and back, cheek, back of this eye socket right there, and up in here, and the tippy tip of his tail, but it'll be dark underneath. So we'll throw some darkness under there. And let's see, if this is a warm log and the moonlight comes and hits it, along the top, it's probably going to be pretty orangey, don't you think? I'm just going to throw some orange colors in here, see what we get. And then put some reds behind. And I'll use the same thing. I need some water. And dull it down a little tiny bit. Back here. Too creamy. Too creamy. So I hope everybody had a great week. I painted in Monterey, California, and just had just a fabulous trip. I had gone out for a Route 66 show. It's a group show that my friends and I are in, and it was just fabulous. The show's beautiful. If you end up going, anybody who lives near, who watches, if you live near San Juan Bautista and can make it, I highly recommend going. I don't quite know what I'm doing with his face here other than making a mess. So I think I just hit it too much. because this will come in light right on top. And I almost need like an immediate in between right in here. Just not in between enough. Nose, maybe the nose has more. Just right in there. And then dark, dark underneath. Sideways. Dark red brown. A little more red. A lot more blue. And then even in here, really, really dark underneath. Same under this mouth and in the back, right under here. And then I'm almost thinking that to show the difference of where his head is with the log, I need to lighten the log behind his head. So like on this side, I've got to lighten stuff. Oh, show everybody my shirt. Okay, guys, so you have to see my shirt. Shirt break, real quick. I'll give you a shirt break while we have... Okay, hopefully it's not backwards. Are you ready? It says Jurassic Shark, Monterey, California. Is that not awesome? Jurassic Shark. And of course the Jurassic Park movie is coming out next week. My daughter and I are going. Super excited about that. She already has tickets for us. So we're gonna go do that next week. Oh, here, I'll put some greenish blue on the top of this log thing too. That might be confusing though for everybody. Maybe too dark or too light, so we can darken it. Ooh, I'll have to come back and darken it. Yeah, I'll have to come back. Most definitely. Oh, I'm glad you love this shirt. I thought it was so fun. I got it in red, and then Allie, my daughter, bought one in black. So we're a little bit twinsy, which is funny. And it's not the only shirt that we bought the same one of. We have another one that we both love too, and we each bought it. So pretty funny. Let's just give him some arm stuff going on. And then a red brown where it gets really dark underneath here. and in there. And then the left of that arm. Yeah, I'm just a raptor hanging out at the bar, hoping to catch something. Maybe at some point I need to put a fish in one of their mouths. Who knows, right? Kind of a little darker under there. Almost reflected light, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Put a little, like, I wanted it not flat over here, so like a little bumpy nodule. Same with, I could have some other little things like that. Build it in. Another side like that. And then of course it's gonna have a shadow. Blah. Behind, so it can start to build out little things like that on the tree. So I think I'm gonna end up changing the times because I'm doing so badly with it. I've got to figure out what the best time to do this show is. By the time I work in the office on Fridays, and so often I'll have to run an errand, or if I get out late, it is really hard to start at 6:30. I've started to give myself leeway and just start later. And then I travel a lot on the weekends, which is a challenge to stream while traveling, especially if I'm driving somewhere. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do another weeknight. Tuesday works really well for Art Tooltip Tuesday. That is a great show. If you haven't seen it and you're hearing me babble on tonight, I strongly recommend trying to get to see that show. And Tuesday nights works really, really well for me. Now this week I was actually on an airplane, so it didn't happen, guys. But I probably hit the most from those shows. Anyway, I'm babbling. My point is I've got to either do, change Friday Night Dinos to maybe 7 to 8:30. That's my other issue, is I'm so tired. So by the time I've had a week of work and I start twitching, coming to do a show, I'm already a little bit fried. But I think giving myself a little more time helps. splitting it and doing a couple nights may help too, because these are at the point where they need many nights and I'm just not getting enough time in. So oh, I like this. I like lighting this guy up with some yellow. On the edge. And especially on all of these branches that come down in here. That will kind of give it a nice feel. You can come in and same up here. I can come up here and add blurby little branches and stuff. I just have to put a dark knobby behind them. The shadow comes in right there. You probably didn't even see that. And then let's get some darkness back here. Yeah, it's gonna be like really nice and dark back in the back. That I feel pretty confident about. It's a little claw-like. I think I need to settle it down. The claw. Yeah, it's a little much. Let me help once I shadow this. Back in here. And I think I'm going to be playing a lot with, you know, pushing and pulling. How does the light sit behind this so you can still see this without you losing too much information? The back of this log is all going to be in shadow. It may end up with some reflected light from the water down below. So I can probably come in here and change that up. Throw some darkness in. And then same back in here. I've got like these light, like a bluish. kind of like that. That's kind of nice. Some nice color variation in there. Sunday night dinos. I didn't know, you know, I thought about Sunday night and I thought, well, dang, I'm usually, when I'm traveling, I'm coming back on Sunday night. So that didn't seem like a good night. My only hesitation with Thursdays is just really weighting down my, as far as weighting, like putting a lot of energy midweek, and I need to be on it at work. I can't be like half asleep because of my crazy nighttime antics. So that's my only hesitation with Thursday, but Thursday might be the best day. Okay, that was a wrong move right there. Did you see? His hip should not have that much light to it on the left. So I'm going to darken that back up. So that was just wrong. And let's get some of this purple blue. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but I mix everything on my palette. Like, it's messy. So I will just add and mix in with each other. I don't think I ever have a clean palette. I'll start out clean and then within like 2 strokes, it's all over. Forget it. Now these look too blobby, so we've got to make it more interesting. Dirty green even. Oh, it's too warm. It's going to be cooler. So it can have more interest, but it's got to be cool enough. For what that was, it was too warm. Kind of bringing that in over on that log. Cooling it off a little more. I like that cool. I want to see how this purpley cool color works down here in these cracks in the shell versus the warm. I like that a lot. So I'm going to play with adding that over some of my lines that I built. And I think it brings a little bit of that, you know, as above, so below concept. Bring the colors from here down into where this all is. And I definitely think this improves all of this. I don't know what's gone on with my daughter, but she is all funny. Like, I hear her downstairs. She has no idea that we all can hear her. All right, nice. Okay, now let's put this shadow color in here. behind these brushes, like logs. And then I need it dark underneath this log. So purple, blue, some black. Mix that all in. And this log is right down in that water. It needs more little doohickeys on it, like these things. I've got to build some things like that up. So we'll add some quote doohickeys. Let's go back down here and think about my water again. Like, how would that look? What would that look like? Does it come in and flow back towards that? Making streaks like this. Oh, and I've got different directions going on, so I need to pay attention. I'm not paying attention. Let's make sure my directions go the way they should. Like this, and then down, and then down, and then down. Same over here. My angles are all cattywampus, and they should be like that. And then down and over and out like this. Just kind of give it some interesting marks this way. So that direction. All right, and then how does it look when it's going over? Let me see, I need a reference. When it's traveling over the shell, what does that look like? I don't really have a lot of photos of it traveling over different layers. Okay, it almost has to drop down in little straight rivulets. So like if it were hitting this, And it would have some little marks before it comes down to that. I'll have to play with this. Oh, my daughter? Yeah, she does. She most likely has her headphones on, so she has no idea that everybody can hear her. Whatever she's doing, she's having a good time, so we're just going to let her have a good time and not harass her. It's gonna be grayer. Kind of like the gray look, but we'll have to add white in as we go. Like a yellow white. Yep, that's what it's gonna have to be. Alright, we'll come back and play with these at some point. I've got to start resolving this right here. I feel like I've done nothing. Like this whole thing. No, she has off. She took a nice, it was like two weekends off so that she could get a break. She really needed a break. So she's not working tonight. So it's unusual to have her home during my show. And it's like a mysterious kind of, we're going for almost an ethereal fog in there. The light would hit whatever's back in these trees. So I'm sure that we would have branches back in the back. And probably even some like light foliage along the edge. Maybe. I don't know. We'll start to put some in, and then I can always drop it back if I think it's a fail. Like where is it catching the little bits of light or the edges of trees in here? You like fog, NEC? Yeah, I think fog would be really kind of nice. I could even fog this out, you know, like pull some of this into all of this. I may have too much yellow in it. Maybe a little bluer. I don't know, it's very dirty fog, and they don't even have humans there, so we shouldn't have dirty fog in this land. I would think my fog should be a little cleaner. think soft edges will help. I bring some soft edges into this. Make it really foggy. Yeah, way too yellow. It almost looks like a forest fire. It's the end of the earth. It's the end of dinosaur times. The asteroid has hit. Haha. That's terrible. I should just not be so naughty. Okay, well, we'll play with this a little bit. I think we might just need some shadows, some mid-tones, mid-values. Kind of show what's going on in that. Be like some things that not perfect trees. Gonna come in and out, back in the back here. Okay. And while I clean this stuff up, do I add more like splashes back here? Maybe. At some point I hope I get like a sense of magic going on. I don't know if I will, but we'll sure try. Add more water splashing up. She is really happy. Fun, it's getting moodier. I can tell just looking at the screen, it's starting to get a little more of like a moody feel to it. Jurassic-y. Is that a term? Jurassic-y? Give it a Jurassic-y feel. That's kind of fun. There'll be some tree-like things. Let's see, back behind all here. Or greens. Help define where everything is. It's a lot darker in person. I have so many lights on here, and as I darken all of this up, I think it'll get my night back. I still have a lot of darks to bring in. You are right. It does look very daytimey, but I think we're okay. I've got to, push things back and bring them forward, and like watch. If I come into these deep shadows in this forest, and start adding some darks, you'll see it'll start to really darken everything up. I'll just throw some stuff in here to kind of give you that feel. That was a log that's going to be sideways. So we need like a really good balance of night and day and not brighten it too much. But we've got to have enough mystery to make it interesting. Okay, so if I start pushing this back in here, and this, I think once I darken these up more, and then this another drop back, so like this night sky may end up this blue, and these blues, maybe I drop them even darker. Let's add some black and blue in here. Just bring it a little more into this. The forest is going to be really, really deep and dark and mysterious. And then same down here. Once I'm near this waterbed, back in here, like this all in here will be like really kind of dark, and I don't really know what's going on back there. This will get even darker in here. And the back of this log needs to be darkened up a lot. And even back in here, this will be even darker than I have it. So let's see if this will give Lebowski the right feel. Go West is saying grays will help set the mist. Good thoughts there. In fact, let's take this black and even on this one, I think I want to see. I need a bigger brush. Start grading this guy more. starting to help. That helped for me to darken that log, but this still has such a long ways to go. And Go West, thank you for that suggestion. I think it really does help to darken this up. Oh, I'm even gonna come in here and gonna bring this in here, under here. It'll help give us more of a night scene. Hide a lot of stuff in here. Back in here too, like right there. And down in here. That's gonna help. I think it helps to speed me up and just be like, hey, it looks too blah bitty blah, and then I speed up. So, because what's the worst that'll happen? I think, you know, ideally if I really like what this piece is, but I want to refine it, I'd love it to be a beautiful full-on watercolor. Part of that will be redoing it. In fact, I've given a lot of thought to this project and these pieces and thought it'd be amazing if I refine them. Ooh, I kind of like this, bringing this in so that there's pattern within the gray and leaving little bits showing. That's kind of an interesting concept. Anyway, my point is all of your suggestions help. They help keep me on track. They help keep me honest. They help keep me from canoodling. Which means screwing around. Now that kind of does it. I'm almost creating a negative space with the green by bringing this in. So if I just kind of like come into here, bring that to there. Gets it darker and creates some movement. Hey! Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting better and better. Humming Wolf is here too. I love you guys. You're gonna make me all weepy. Thank you all for tuning in and sticking with me in my crazy project. Ooh, I kind of like that. So Go West, your graying suggestion really kind of helped start to pull some things out. I think that's going to help a lot. And then I'm going to pull some of these ridges down in the shell. So that it starts to do the right thing. I tell you what, I'm learning so much. This is a, talk about an experiment. I have many moments while working on this and I'll go, this is really hard. I have to think. You know, like we have to think about what we see when we're out plein air painting. I have to really go, does this make sense? Is it working? The suggestions you guys make are really helpful. So it's hard. This is not easy. But I really like adding more gray so that there's more movement in this. Let's gray the back of this rock right here. And then put some stuff in here like that. I kind of like the idea of these rocks having some light on them. And then whatever's going on nice and dark back in here. Scary monster foliage where there's dinosaurs lurking in the back. Because you know it. You know there's going to be some dinosaurs back there. They're just waiting. They're waiting for the scraps from these guys. So they're going, ooh, if these guys would just like take a break, man. We need a break. Give a dino a bone. I want to add more of that red brown behind this backside. So I'm going to add some, I've got red, some yellow. There was already some blue in there. But I want it dark. Like that dark? Do I want it that dark? Kind of like that. That dark. It's kind of nice. This branch is just a little too on fire. You like where I splotch? I have a big splotch up there. And maybe we'll go down here too. Because this has got to be darker back through this. may need to red some things up a little bit. Indigo? Oh, hi Galen. It's awesome to have you here. NEC, good night. I know it's late on the East Coast, so thanks for tuning in. Have an awesome night and a great weekend. Whatever you do. And then his little raptor hands. It's got little raptor hands. There is a lot going on. I kind of have a different direction here going on. I've got to resolve this because I've got some funky stuff. If I take and go, okay, this water will be coming down the river here, then I'm wrong again. So I've really screwed this up. Never fear, it's paint. We can paint over it, right? When in doubt, just paint over it. So again, here. Well, it depends on where I want this to come from. Here is still not quite right in here. This isn't right. Which means this one isn't quite right. Which means this one isn't quite right. Boy, I can go so wrong so quickly. That's getting better. I like these marks right here. I just like that, like it's a pool. Let's bring some of that back in here. I really liked that. Almost like we don't know what's happening, but maybe it's lighter back under there for whatever reason. Or maybe the way the light hit. I don't know. I like that though. Yeah, this has got to be more like, I think all of this will be kind of running this way. And here's my waterfall. So that kind of, you know, in there. Now I'm making sound effects. Crazy, totally crazy. Like it's kind of fun to see the paint lay down and then change something. Over here, if I change the direction of all of this, gray out. So we're not as confused visually. Don't want to confuse everybody visually. Even though I know this isn't right yet, I'm just trying to get a direction. So I'm trying to feel for how that moves through this space and then brings you back again. And I have to make sure I still have this green tint in here because that's in the hopper painting. So I don't want to lose this mint green color. This yellow mint green is kind of important in my mind. And I can bring that back in. Play back and forth between grays and greens and the light. And we'll see what we end up with. Okay, you guys, you want kitty cam? Hold on, we'll just let her come over, but she's gonna want my water. So here she comes. There she is. No, that's paint water. You cannot drink that. Okay, everybody. Here she is. Total cuteness. Say, hey, Mom. Oh, there she is. I'm going to take her water away because that's what she wants. She's on the dinos. She is so big. Yeah, she's pretty big. She's like almost full grown. Huh? And show everybody. Look how cute you are. She's still a little girl, but she's a big kitty now, huh? That's my tea. You can't have it. I'm going to come get you. Is it time for the show to be done? Have you lost your patience? I think, guys, it is pretty much. If it's cute, there she goes. Okay. I wore her down. I took the water away. That's pretty funny. Okay. But look, I was fast on my feet. Fast on my feet. So I'm kind of wondering how to get more night involved. Do we make this dark black night with a dark blue sky and then make all of this really, really black back here? I don't know. Part of this is, well, my water is really, really dirty. So that's a problem. But if I bring in some of this back in here, you know, and then the question is, what do we do with the night sky? How do we pull that off? Is it actually going to be black or is it going to be blue? Like a midnight blue? So if I come in here and darken this, even with some darks like this, here's our mist. Now I don't want this to be weird around his face, so I'm just going to darken this with a wash. Kind of bringing that in. Darken behind that. Again, I'm taking some black, some blue, some of what's on my palette, so it's not all, what would you say? I don't want just a straight color. I don't like to work with straight color. I like to mix it with everything. So now if I darken the sky in here, and Lebowski, you can kind of tell me if you think it's closer to a night scene, just by me starting to darken that in there. And then I can even, you know, verticals are our darkest. So here's our darkest. It's going to be in these trees because your verticals are your darkest. It's not going to be the sky. It's going to be the vertical trees. So we'll do this. And especially on this right side, ooh, that should be nice and dark. Dark, dark, dark. So, tree tops, tree shapes, all back in here. And that's starting to feel a lot more dusky, nighty. Leave some lights, some little highlights. Okay. And let's get a dusky color again and add up in here. leave some of these lit a little bit. And then a gray blue up here. Yeah, that starts to feel like more like a night scene. I still don't think I have my light right, but we're getting there. And remember, I'm working with paint, so if I take it too far, I can bring it back. I am working in gouache, so it's not as critical as watercolor. It's a lot more forgiving. Messy. Okay, gang, so I am going to probably makes the darks look darker. Yeah. And it also, like, the highlights look even brighter the darker we're gonna go. Kind of washes, so we'll see what happens. He's like, hey, how you doing? Dinosaur's like, yeah, I'll take 3 fish, please. Could you just throw them this way? Put it on my tab. Dorky, right? It's late night dino dork. Humming Wolf, did you see my shirt? I think you came on too late to see the shirt. So I'm going to do a quick shirt show again for those who may not have come in time to see the shirt, since we're going to end this broadcast fairly soon. Okay, so here we go. You ready? It's Jurassic Shark. Isn't that awesome? So fun. Shark! I know, right? Put it on your wrap card. You know what? We'll have to put it on the Odom card. Makes your darks darker. Do this. It makes your darks darker. Okay. I'm getting really sloppy, guys. It's probably time to call it. There's some darks in here, in this part, right in here. Kind of keep playing with that. This has some neat stuff I like going on in here. Okay. Well, that is a Friday night dino wrap. Still a long way to go. It's getting there. Kind of has the right feel. Definitely the composition is there. Paper is holding up great. It just needs flattened. I should have worked on a board and had it taped down. It is 140-pound Arches watercolor paper, so it's holding up really, really good. Yeah, I think I've got, it's getting there, but boy, these take a long time. And there's so much to resolve in them. So they're tough. I don't know if I'll end up getting rid of this guy over here, just leaving this. I almost feel like it's distracting and not part of the story. Originally, I had this waterfall because the interior of the diner in Nighthawks is really bright. It's got this bright yellow section, and it's green outside the diner. So I'm trying to retain some of that. Whether or not I pull it off, I don't know, but we're getting there. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Have an awesome night. I hope you make lots of art. Go West, Humming Wolf. Hope to catch up with you this weekend, and love you all. That's all I've got. Lebowski usually does a dance for us, but there's our dance. I was going to say, I'm kind of waiting for the goofy end of the show dance. And maybe some aquarium. Ooh, aquarium will be fun. Well, let me know. I have to get my hair done tomorrow, but Sunday's always a good day. So, okay, love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.